Hi, my name is Jamie Hixon, and I'm going to teach you a little bit about your voice. Your voice is an instrument, just like a violin or a trumpet or a piano is an instrument. And because it is an instrument, you need to take good care of it. You need to get lots of rest and drink lots of water to keep it lubricated. And also try not to scream, because screaming hurts your vocal cords. So we are going to teach you about your voice, whether you are a soprano, that's high voice, or alto, which is low voice, because everyone's voice gets taken care of the same. The first thing I want to talk about is breathing. The muscle that singers use to breathe is called the diaphragm, and it is located right where my fingers would meet inside my body, right there. A lot of singers, when they breathe, they look like this. And we don't want that. The shoulders rising and falling should not happen. We want the shoulders to stay down, and your stomach should be the one that's rising and falling like a balloon. When it is filled with air, it expands, and then when it doesn't have air in it, it contracts. So when your body gets air in it, when you're breathing in, it should expand, and then when you breathe it out, it should contract. And sometimes you might want to put your hands on your rib cage to make sure that that's working too. If your ribs are expanding, that is a sign of a good deep breath. Now you want to make sure that your neck is relaxed. Many people, when they sing, especially when they're singing high, they tense these muscles in here, and it looks sort of like that. So we want to make sure that it's nice and relaxed. If you need to keep your hand on your neck to make sure that it's nice and relaxed, you can do that. But when you're breathing, there should be no tension in this area. Also try to relax your jaw and make sure you can even kind of massage it a little bit, and make sure that everything is nice and relaxed and not tensed. It makes your voice flow freer. We're going to start our warm-up by loosening some of the muscles on our face, and I'm going to demonstrate that for you. The first one is the lip flutter, and that goes like this. That loosens up your lips. The second one is rolling R's, and some people can't do this one, but you can try it. And that is demonstrated like this. And you can go up and down in pitch. That helps also loosen your vocal cords. Like that. Stretching our mouth, and this may look and feel a little funny, but it does help. You're going to open your mouth big like this, and then close it up tight like this. And we're going to do that for about 30 seconds, so you can follow along with me if you like. And you can alternate the speed that you do that as well. Another thing that I like to do is smile and then frown. So we're going to try that together for maybe 30 seconds as well. It gets the muscles in your face working, and it really brings the circulation to your face. One thing I do want to mention is that singing is best when standing. And you should have good posture for this as well. You should feel as though someone is pulling a string through the top of your head and kind of lifting you up, kind of like you're Pinocchio or something like that. And you want to be as straight as you can in your spine, and make sure not to lock your knees, which is making them so very rigid. You want to make them supple so that they can bend at any moment. That is the posture you should have while you are standing. And sometimes we're not able to stand, so we have to sit. And the same thing should apply when you're sitting. Even though you are sitting down on a seat of some sort, you want to keep that nice long feeling in your spine. Now, while you have that nice posture, we want to make sure that the air is flowing freely out of our mouths, and we're going to take a nice sigh as high as you can. Make sure everything is nice and relaxed, as we talked about before, and open very big, and go like this. And try to go from top to bottom, and then we want to go from bottom to top, so we'll do it like this. nice and relaxed in the throat and keeping your posture nice and upright. Now we're going to try to sigh from bottom to top. Here we go. Ah, and you can go back down and up as many times as you would like. Placement of your tongue in your mouth. Many times when people sing, their tongue goes back and kind of clogs their throat like this. You want to make sure that you can see the back of your throat when you sing, so have your tongue right behind your teeth, like this. Make sure that it's depressed like you're at the doctor's and they're sticking something in your mouth and kind of depressing your tongue. Or you can imagine that you have a hot potato inside your mouth and you're thinking like that, hot potato. So your tongue is down and just behind your teeth. Also, I should mention that your jaw is a ramp and a hinge. It does this and it does this. We want the latter. We want this. So it can drop like this, ah, or it can drop like this, ah. We want that space back there. So make sure that your jaw is dropping like so. You can check it by putting your fingers right here by your ears, and if it indents when you put your mouth down, then you're doing it right. If you don't feel it going in, then you might want to try to drop your jaw a little more, like that. Here are some things that you should be aware of before you begin singing along with your scales. There are things called pure vowels and diphthongs. Diphthongs are when the sound changes, like A, there's two sounds together, or O. But pure vowels are E, E, A, O, and U. You want to keep them pure as much as possible unless the exercise requires otherwise. So you want to make sure, especially with the E sound and the O sound, that you don't change it to the diphthongs A and O. Now that we've talked about vowels, I'd like to talk about consonants. Many people, when they sing, don't put the consonants in there as well, and it's hard to understand their words. So we're going to try to do some tongue twisters and make sure that we can understand those words. The first one we are going to try is Sister Susie sank my submarine. And it goes like this. Sister Susie sank my submarine. Sister Susie sank my submarine. Sister Susie sank my submarine. Now, we don't want Sister Susie sank my submarine, so make sure that you are enunciating so that everyone can hear you clearly. Now that we've talked about vowels and consonants, I'm going to tell you a little bit about music theory so you maybe can better understand scales in general. If you've ever seen the movie The Sound of Music, you might have heard of that song that goes do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and that is the musical scale, and it sounds like this. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That is the musical scale that we use. And in that, you can also explain intervals. From a do to a re, that's a second. From a do to a mi, that's a third. And so on up the scale. Fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. And you can call that an octave. Like an octopus has 8 arms. That's 8 octave. And so that's from do to do. Some of our scales will skip an octave and go from do to do. And you'll be singing different words, of course. Some of our scales you will be using the actual names of the notes, like do, mi, so, mi, do. That's just to get you a little bit more familiar with how the scales are constructed. Now it's time to start practicing your scales on your rehearsal audio CD. This is Jamie Hixon, and I want you to remember to always do your best and to have fun.